Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our art appreciation class. We are now on the week 2, module 3, and our topic for today is the Humanities and the Filipino Personhood, or the Pagkatao. For our learning outcome, we have to compare and contrast the concepts of art according to Western thought and the Filipino thought. Of course, you have your references for the readings as well as for the videos. Okay, so these are the videos that you are going to watch. Ayon kay Covar, may kasabihan ang mga Pilipino na madali ang maging tao, mahirap magpakatao. Ang pagiging tao ay isang prosesong biolohikal. Ang pagpapakatao ay naaayon naman sa prosesong kultural. Ang salitang tao ay pangalan. Ito ay tumatanggap ng iba't ibang panlapi upang makapagsaad ng iba't ibang kahulugan. Halimbawa, maka-tao, tumao, tauhan. Ang katauhan ay nangangahulugan ng kabalasan ng diwang taglay ng salitang ugat, tao. Sa Ingles, ang salitang pagkatao or sa Ingles, ang salin ng katauhan ay humanity. Now, ayon kay Miranda, humanhood. Dahilan dito, ang salitang pagkatao ay angkop sa konsepto bilang personhood o pagiging taong Pilipino. Ayon naman kay Santiago at Tiangco, ang pagka ay tumutukoy sa kalikasan ng tao or yung nature ng tao, hayop o bagay. Ganito ang gamit ng pagka sa pariralang pagkataong Pilipino. That is, Pilipinong tao. Okay, take a look at this image or these images, no? So based on the picture illustrations, explain or how are you going to explain madali ang maging tao, mahirap magpakatao? Explain the reason why you gave that answer and what was on your mind. So you have to come up at least a minimum of 50 words. Okay, let's proceed to our discussion. Humanities. In Latin, it is called humanitas. In English, humanities. In Filipino, we call it pagpapakatao. Mula sa pagkatao, naging tao. Okay, let's take a look at Covar's Filipino anthropology. Okay, kanina sa introduction ko, nabanggit ko na ito yung kay Covar, no? But let's take a look again. Sabi dyan, pag sinabing katauhan, we are referring to the biological. Okay? Born as a human being, you act as a being, act of being human, or yung personality. Okay? Yung personality ng isang tao. Pero, pag sinabi mong pagkatao, it refers to cultural. Becoming a human being and the process of becoming a human person or yung personhood, no, yung pagkatao ng isang tao. That's why sabi nga natin kanina, no, madaling maging tao, mahirap magpakatao. Kasi ang pagpapakatao ay isang proseso para maging ganap na tao. Pagpapakatao is the process by which one becomes a human being. Now, how does a human being become a Filipino? Ang pagkatao daw can be likened into a jar, like the manunggul jar. So, we have this manunggul jar. Just a trivia, ang manunggul jar ay nanggaling sa Tabon Cave, no, dito sa atin, sa Palawan, during 890 to 710 BC. Okay? But then, sabi dyan, how does a human being daw become a Filipino? Tignan natin yung yung similarity. Okay? Tignan natin yung similarity ng manunggul jar or yung comparison ng manunggul jar sa pagkatao. It says here, the jar and the Filipino personhood. Okay. Yung jar, yung manunggul jar, merong labas, merong loob, at merong lalim. Ganon din tayo, no? Tayong tao. Meron tayong labas, meron tayong loob, at meron tayong lalim. Sa labas, merong ulo. 'Di ba? Tayong mga tao, merong ulo. Meron tayong dibdib. Okay? Sa loob niyan, meron kang ulo, meron kang isip. Kaya tayong mga tao ay nag-iisip. Meron tayong dibdib sa labas, kaya nakakaroon tayong mga tao nagkakaroon tayo ng damdamin, no? Loob. Yung lalim, kaluluwa, no? Yung lalim ay kaluluwa. That's why sa loob nito meron tayong budhi. When you say budhi, yun yung ating konsyensya. Okay, yung conscience. Kaya minsan maririnig mo, ang itim ng iyong budhi mo, no? Ang itim ng budhi mo, ibig sabihin wala kang konsyensya, no? Okay? So, yung kaluluwa, it refers to our budhi sa loob. Okay? So, tignan natin ulit. Pag sinabi nating labas ng pagkatao, ito yung physical aspects, no? Ito yung physical aspects ng pagkatao natin. Yung kulay ng balat, maputi ka ba or maitim, yung tindig mo, okay? Yung ilong mo matangos o pango, dibdib mo malapad or malaki. So it's more on the physical aspects of the person. However, sa loob ng pagkatao, no, it's more on sa kalooban, intellectual, emotional and moral, no? Ikaw ba ay matalino, no? Pag-iisip mo ba ay matalino? Ang ugali mo, yung asal mo ay mabuti. So it's more on the intellectual, the emotional and moral aspects of the person. Sa lalim ng pagkatao, so we are talking about the spiritual, no? Spirituality. That's why there is the anito. Yung anito is yung kabanalan natin, no? Yung banal, pinakailalim natin. Sabi nga, it's like the sacred space sa ating pagkatao. Yun yung ating kabanalan, no? Kabanalan sa ating kalooban ng pagkatao. Okay, let's have the non-dualistic relation of terms. So again, we still have the labas and the loob. Tingnan natin yung comparison. Sa labas, pag ikaw ay may malapad ng noo, no? Pag ikaw ay may malapad ng noo, ano ibig sabihin nito sa loob? Ikaw ay matalino. Pag salubong ang iyong kilay, ikaw ay matapang o galit. Malagkit ang tingin. Ikaw daw ay umiibig. Okay? Pag maduming bibig, ano sa loob nito? Ikaw ay masamang magsalita. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung lalim. Pag malinis ang iyong kaluluwa, ibig sabihin sa loob, matuwid din yung iyong budhi. Okay? So, these are the non-dualistic relation of terms. Okay. Let's take a look at the non-dualistic relations in Filipino psychology. Again, tingnan natin, we still have the labas and loob. Hipo. Pag ikaw ay hinipuan, no, sa labas yan, no? Pag ikaw ay hinipuan, ano sa loob nito? Ikaw ay nakadama. Okay? Pag hinipuan ka, ikaw ay nakadama. Pigil. Pumipigil ka. Pumipigil ka sa galit. Ano sa loob nito? Sa iyong kalooban, ikaw ay nagtitimpi ka sa galit. 'Di ba? Ikaw ay pumipigil sa labas mo lang, ikaw ay pumipigil ka lang sa labas, no? Pero sa loob nito, ikaw ay nagtitimpi sa galit. Okay? Dinig. Pero sa loob, ito ay ulinig. Okay? So, medyo malalim yung Tagalog, no? Ulinig. Sa labas, ikaw ay nakadinig, pero sa loob, ito ay ulinig. Tawa. Okay? Tawa ka ng tawa, pero sa loob, ikaw ay natutuwa. Merong tuwa sa iyong kalooban. Saya, ikaw ay masaya, no? Padlabas, ikaw ay masaya, pero sa loob, ikaw ay maligaya. Sarap, no? Ikaw ay nasarapan, pero that is panlabas. Pero sa panloob, ikaw ay merong ginhawa. Okay? Just recently, yung aking kaibigan, yung aking kababayan ay nag-post, no, sa Facebook dahil ang kanyang anak ay nakapasa sa physician licensure examination. 'Di ba? Imaginein mo, after how many years ng kanyang pag-aaral ng kanyang anak, siya ay nakapasa at isa ng ganap na doktora. So sa labas siya ay ang sarap sa pakiramdam, Okay, let's take a look at the humanities and Filipino concept. Pagpapakatao. Pagpapakatao is the process how a human being becomes a Filipino. Okay. In the study of humanities, pagpapakatao, so we would like you to discover and realize your own identity as a Filipino. Okay? Sabi nga ni Felipe de Leon, no, in defining the Filipino through the arts, sabi niya dito, during the pre-colonial period or before 1500s, tayong mga Pilipino, we had our own cultural identity. Ano ba tong cultural identity na sinasabi na to? Sabi niya ni Felipe de Leon, the worldview and values, belief systems, knowledge, skills and practices, core principles and ideas shared by a society. So ibig sabihin, noong pre-colonial period, tayong mga Pilipino, meron na tayong sariling belief system. Meron na tayong mga practices, mga prinsipyo na isinishare ng bawat society or ng ating society. Okay? So, sabi dyan, during pre-colonial period, we had our own cultural identity. Now, during colonial period, which happened during 1500s to 1950, yung ating identity was destroyed by colonizers. Okay? Because it happens because of the westernization of Filipino culture, making us alienated from our own. Dito na pumasok, no, yung mga colonizers, Spaniards, mga Americans, no? So na-destroy ng mga colonizers yung ating cultural identity. Okay, yung ating mga paniniwala, no, yung ating mga practices, yung ating principles na sinishare sa ating society. Na-destroy yon because of the colonizers. Okay? During the post-colonial period, this is the time where we reclaim, where we affirm and define again our own identity. Pilit nating nire-reclaim, pilit nating ibinabalik, no, binibigyan ng definition yung ating cultural identity kasi nga nawasak yon. Okay? Nawasak yon during the colonial period. Pero sa ating pagbabalik, sa ating pag-a-affirm ng ating cultural identity, marami nang nabago. Okay? Marami nang nabago, marami nang nadagdag, okay? Marami nang nabawas. For example, ayaw mo lang gumamit ng Acer na laptop, no? Siguro gusto mo pa magkaroon ng Apple, okay, ng Mac na laptop. Okay, something like that, no? And that is the mentality of Americans. Okay? So, again, pilit nating binabago, no? Ina-affirm natin, nire-reclaim natin yung ating mga belief system during the post-colonial period. Pero, ang nangyari ay nadagdagan, no? Nadagdagan, nabawasan yung ating mga principles, yung ating mga paniniwala, no, sa society. Okay? Okay, then we have the forms of alienation caused by westernization of Filipino culture. Okay, we have 7. Just read it. Okay, just read it by yourself. Okay, also there are some recommendations for developing a Filipino and humanistic perspective. Okay, so just read it by yourself, guys. The communal character of the Philippine traditional cultures as reflected in the arts. Now, the question is, in the concept of the Filipino pagkatao, what cultural influence do you find relevant to showcase the Philippine culture in the global community? So, for your activity, try to answer at least a minimum of 50 words. That is the number 1 question. And for number 2, what do you think are the qualities of Philippine art? In your opinion, what makes Philippine art Filipino? Again, I would like you to be guided by the rubrics for your grading. Okay. Now, for your assessment, Again, come up with at least a minimum of 50 words. Or the question number 1, if you were to add to the lesson, what would they be? Create new ideas or create new knowledge and share it in the discussion. Second, why do you think this philosophical theory of art could be an avenue for the discussion and dissemination of these realities in our country? How can the recipients of artworks be more involved? And you have to have a reflection, okay? For your final output, you have to have a reflection. Number 1, examine the philosophical theory of art you learned. What significant lesson did you find it personal? And number 2 question, in what part of the lesson did you find easy or hard to illustrate in the way that you learned, and why? So again, please come up with at least a minimum of 50 words. Thank you. That ends my presentation for today's topic.